dude. Let's eat. Hey, no, I don't feel like delivery tonight.
What about KFC? Yeah.
No. We've been there too many times. I want something we haven't had in a while. Something different, something that'll really hit the spot. I want the perfect food.
Okay, no, seriously. These burgers were amazing. And if anybody remembers that from high school, from my and Oscar's high school, who could be listening, I don't remember the name of them, but that was my lunch. And it was the burger. I would usually get the flaming fried chips.
Like hot fries?
Yeah, the hot fries. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Tom's hot fries? I'm sorry. No, the Chester's.
Oh, Chester's.
The Chester's hot fries. And Sprite Remix, and that was like my lunch, and it was delicious. And it was all less than $5.
Yeah?
So...
Because I remember that the burger was $2, the bag of chips was $1, and like...
The Sprite Remix was $1.
Was $1. And that was when sodas and from a vending machine were $1.
Were $1.
Not $1.25,
Not
where you have to break $1.
Now they're $1.50 apparently.
Oh, it keeps going up. I hate that shit. I don't want to hear that.
I used to get Fruitopia.
I know. And we had
all
a Fruitopia...
Those weird, super sugary drinks.
A Fruitopia vending machine. Mm-hmm. I remember that. And then all of a sudden...
It was just Fruitopia?
It was...
Because it was the healthy option.
Really was. So it was the Fruitopia vending machine, and they had all the Fruitopia flavors. It was like a lemon one, a lime one,
I don't remember it
berry
having the
one.
different flavors.
Yeah.
I just remember red.
No.
There was a berry one.
3 or 4.
There was a pineapple one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but
like
they were
punch.
so good. They were just great.
Nope.
And this is why we're all fat. Yeah, man. Good times. There was even a time, it was our freshman year, but I don't remember which club it was, but they sold like iced coffees and stuff like that in the morning.
This is before it became a thing.
What do you mean?
Would you say this is like way before Starbucks had like the frozen? Well, I don't know.
No, it was just like.
Well, considering we grew up in Brownsville, Texas, where there probably wasn't a Starbucks at that time, it was like, woo, this is new.
This is new to us.
Yeah, something with whipped cream and like the whole jazz on top.
Yeah.
It was like frozen coffee or frozen hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I was still amazed by fucking Slurpees and stuff like that. That was my go-to. My whole go-to was, of course, still Pepsi Blue, Coca-Cola Black. This is when they had all those flavors, and that was...
See, Coca-Cola Black. That's the one that you've told me before that was like coffee, right?
That sounds familiar, but I've never...
It only came in a tiny bottle. I don't even know what I can compare it to. Like a real tiny bottle, and you really only need a little bit of it.
Probably too much caffeine.
It was half and half. It was half coffee,
geez.
sugar, and then half Coke.
Good grief.
So it came in a bottle, really dark, and that was what
Did it taste like those sodas that Herman brought us from
kind of
New
like
York?
that.
Because those were delicious.
Kind of like that, but a little bit stronger.
Thank you, Herman.
For the sodas. You can still find them on Amazon. I forgot the name of it, but I was the one who wanted to go for the crazy different flavored sodas. I went for vanilla, Pepsi Blue.
Oh, Vanilla Coke. Remember when that was
the same time it came
thing?
out. So yeah. Vanilla Coke also came out at that time, and then Diet Dr. Pepper as well started going off on a fad of cherry Dr. Pepper, and then they came up with cherry chocolate Dr. Pepper.
Cherry chocolate Dr. Pepper? I think I remember that.
Cherry chocolate?
Which tasted like a Tootsie Roll in a bottle.
Well, that's funny, because that's how I order my cherry Coke at Sonic. I say I got chocolate cherry Coke, and it tastes like Tootsie Rolls.
Oh.
Hey, I like Tootsie Rolls, but then I'm weird because you all think I'm weird that I like licorice and I like...
Yeah,
no licorice for us.
I love licorice. I don't care what y'all say.
It's the most recycled food out there. So it really is. It was kind of up there with candy corn.
Hey, candy corn is great.
Candy corn is great now that I know this.
I was about to say.
I would think fruitcake would be the number one.
Even more than fruitcake?
Fruitcake I kind of like. It's the kind of thing when you watch no fruit and cake shouldn't
Maybe
say,
fruitcake is the most joked about recycled food.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the most recycled.
What, fruitcake?
Maybe people don't get enough fruitcakes to recycle them.
Well, fruitcake's like maybe it's like a dying thing. Who the fuck gets fruitcake anymore for Christmas?
Yeah,
know?
and if you were to be the person to give fruitcake, it's like, don't get gifts from him because he just gives you fruitcake.
Don't get gifts, you're going to get clothes that you just return a fruitcake to.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's like, you just re-gift a fruitcake? That's how you're going to do it this year?
Yeah.
You're going to be that guy? I don't know. Like, all those things that you guys are mentioning, like, again, not a candy, I don't know where mine's going, but candy corn, I fell in love with it. I shooed away from it. I was just like, it just looks gross to me when I was younger, but then now as an adult, you go getting used to it, it's okay. Licorice, I'm still not a fan of. It just, it's, ugh.
I saw a, I don't know how accurate it is or who made it, but it was a posting on Facebook that had a picture of the United States and what the most popular candy in that state was. And in Texas, it was candy corn. Yeah, and it was the only state that had candy corn. Everything else had, like, you know, legitimate M&Ms and Reese's Pieces and stuff like that. And we had candy corn, and I'm like, yes. So
Something to celebrate about.
what was your favorite cereal as a child?
I went through a lot of phases, and the ones that I mentioned to you guys, you give me the faces, and you guys look up the videos and everything, and you guys don't remember them too much. But not Reese's Pieces because they did theirs, and that's okay. But Rice Krispie Treats cereal.
What?
Yeah, I told him the same exact. That was my exact reaction. What?
That sounds like a miracle.
I know. And I was like, was it like just marshmallow pieces with the Rice Krispie treats?
What it was is like, think of a Rice Krispie treat cut up about a dozen times, and then it's just like any marshmallow piece and whatever cereal that came out. But it was chunks of Rice Krispie treats, and it was fucking amazing.
From your mouth to God's ears.
That is really just marketing candy as
a cereal.
As a breakfast food.
That's the same way when it came to, again, like Oreos.
Oreos. And I never got to taste those, and I wanted to so bad.
So now they're in South Korea, and we can order them on Amazon.
Hell yeah, we need to do that. Well, okay, I can tell you one thing for sure that I definitely did when I lived on my own was get the thing that my mom never let me get when I was little.
What was that?
Which was Cocoa Puffs. It's my favorite cereal.
Cocoa
Puffs is my favorite cereal. And I would never even dare to ask my mom for...
Why would she not let you get Cocoa Puffs?
Because she thought it was an unnecessary thing. Like, you know, she's...
Were you just like a...
you don't need
that
and
Total...
Life.
Well, okay, my mom's favorite cereal is...
lesbians.
My mom's favorite cereal is Honey Bunches of Oats, right? So that was...
That's why.
Good.
Okay, that is for sure has always been in the house. My dad goes through phases. So... And when I mean phases, it's like several months of this, and then he'll move on to something else, and then go back.
Oh, okay.
So for a time, we always had Frosted Flakes, right?
It's not bad.
Always had Frosted Flakes. No, none of the cereals have ever been bad.
Okay.
But I never got to have my own cereal until I really started liking Special K Red Berries. Anyway, because my mom's like, okay, you know, that's a substantial cereal. I don't know. In my mom's mind, that's a substantial cereal. Cocoa Puffs is not. So,
Blasphemy.
My dad always had, first he had Golden Crisps.
Jeez.
And I remember the box with the bear, with the sugar bear.
And like the bag inside was like a weird paper.
Yeah. And then it was Smacks, which was pretty much the same thing.
But with the frog.
Which still had that same weird paper bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a weird
It
wax
was like
paper.
a wax papery bag. Anyway. And then he went from Smacks back to Frosted Flakes. then back to Smacks. But yeah, those are the three main cereals in that. And I felt like if I ever wanted to actually get a certain kind of cereal, I had to pitch it to my mom.
You had the seller on cereal. That's what the television.
Like
was
I
for
needed
at
to
that time.
show her the
Shark Tank of
nutritional.
cereals.
Yeah, I needed to be like, look, Mom, it's really not like bad like you think it might be. Because I mean, I already ate horrible things that were horrible for me. So I guess she just didn't want to spend money on something that she for sure knew. I don't know. I can't even explain to you. All I know.
Maybe it's like having one whole meal just be candy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it was one of those like things that I would never even bring up to asking her to buy me. And so one of the first things on my grocery list when I got my own apartment was, fuck yeah, I get to buy my own cocoa.
When you can be an adult.
Wow. I'm an adult. I
can eat candy for breakfast.
But
Thanks,
whenever
Mom.
Mom comes over, I have to make sure that
hide it?
Well, that box is not in the house because then she's gonna say something like, "Do you really need this,
Some
Jennifer?"
people hide their alcohol.
I hide my Cocoa Puffs.
Some people hide their
Well, it's also the same about junk food too. I guess maybe it goes to not wanting to be lectured on bad food choices.
But
Maybe
that was the whole thing as our childhood. That's all we were. That's all I was ever shown is just we got the brand new cereal, whatever they would market on, like Saturday morning cartoons. Shit, I remember like Batman cereal, Mr. You know the Mr. T cereal, like Nintendo cereal, Legend of Zelda cereal. It was just everything needed a cereal.
Yeah.
Like everything needed a bowl for that morning or anything of that. Hell, I remember like Ghostbusters even had one. I mean, it was just that. We needed that sugar to watch cartoons. We needed that. But for that to be like not a staple in your household, that's just too weird. But I mean, I understand.
But then at the same time, we were never breakfast people. So, like, now I feel a little embarrassed that I shared that story. But whatever.
What cereals did you not like?
Oh, God.
Fucking Raisin Bran.
Really?
Hate Raisin Bran.
I'll say this. I remember having, was it Fruity Pebbles?
Oh, okay.
Not Fruity Pebbles. What is it? Not Kix either.
I'm not, okay.
Fruit
I've
Loops.
never, I was going to say,
It was Fruit Loops. I thought that was a healthy cereal because it had fruit. And I thought it was disgusting.
I've never liked any flavors like Fruit Loops and Trix and stuff like that. Meh. Like, never. No, I don't. I've never liked it.
You guys are going to look at me weird, but I never liked Cheerios. Like
not even a Honey Nut Cheerios?
No,
Plain
Cheerios were just
bland.
Yeah, it was the whole thing that was like, you could see that now. It still kind of carries a staple when you're fresh newborn. Give them a little bag of Cheerios.
Well, they're good snacks. And
they're good
whole
snacks,
grain.
but I need to throw sugar or banana or something in there. It's just, no, it was like Cheerios I didn't like. I wasn't a big fan of. I wouldn't say Raisin Bran because I kind of found a newfound love for that one. Because they even did Raisin Bran Crunch, which was Honey Bunches of Oats for Raisin Bran. But that was pretty good too. I'm trying to think.
Do you remember Crispex?
I remember the name. I don't remember actually having the cereal.
Was it the same thing that was kind of like... I want to say it's like Life.
Well, they looked like Chex. But...
They were hollowed.
Yeah, and it was their whole gimmick was, it was a cereal that wouldn't get soggy. I know. It was like the kind of... I remember the commercials.
I demand my cereal to be soggy!
I remember the commercials vividly. And it was this guy...
Was it like way worse than Captain Crunch cut in your mouth?
Okay, so that's another cereal that I never had enough of to remember how it tastes, is Captain Crunch.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love the peanut butter.
You know, that was one I never really stampled on.
Oh, really?
I saw it, but I never touched it.
I love that one. And the one that I remember feeling like I thought it was weird that I didn't love was the Reese's cereal.
Really?
The Reese's Puff cereal?
Nope.
I always wanted to try that one, too.
Never liked it. And because I don't know, I
Was
remember
it false advertising?
Yeah, it was like, this doesn't taste like chocolate. This doesn't taste like peanut butter. What does this taste like? And why is it called Reese's Pieces
It's
cereal?
a pie in a box.
Aww.
But really, Captain Crunch? I figured that would be like a staple with everybody.
Yeah, that just ruins your mouth.
Mhm.
I
that
just
too.
remembered something. I never had the Cocoa Puffs, but what I do remember somehow getting my mom to agree to was the Malto Meal version
heck yeah.
of Cocoa Puffs.
Malto-meal Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, that was well, not probably it's not going to be heard around the world, but I feel it's only a southern thing. Is that Malto Meal was kind of started in the, I don't know what year it started around, but I remember the way the commercials when I was growing up. The way I remember it is, and it's, you can look it up. It's a guy crawling down the grocery aisle, the cereal aisle, and this is how it was marketed because I guess little kids were there. What year?
It was a moose or something.
It's Coco-Roos.
Coco-Roos, a kangaroo.
I was like,
okay,
oh.
well, moose.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
now I know what you mean.
Okay. So, but the way it was marketed, it was for little kids, of course, to go ahead and reach down for the bottom because that's where Malto Meal cereals were. Down at the very, very bottom of the shelf.
So kids can see them.
So kids can see them, pick them up, and go, hey, Mom. But now that we're an adult, we can't really go down and crouch down on our knees. But they're now above knee level. So then they started doing boxes and stuff like that. But Malto Meal needed to go ahead and spin off and do it. But they do market it as a healthier version of any cereal that you can name. But they also did spawn cereals that they had a really good following of for like fucking King Vitamin. And I'll pitch that one till the day I die. But that is it's the weirdest cereal, but I loved it when I was growing up.
Well, it's weird to me because it's the first cereal that I've seen advertised that had an actual human, not a cartoon character, as its mascot.
It's a guy in a suit with a throne and a crown. And then he became animated later. So,
Oh yeah, now he's animated.
what was the drink that you missed the opportunity to have? Because I know I really wished I was around the time for getting Crystal Pepsi.
Going back, okay, segueing from drinks to cereal, do you remember those, I think they were Quick, the straws? They were like,
I remember those,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
never had them either.
Oh, no, jump on that.
were they like edible? I can't
The
remember.
Quick straws?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Or
why
was-
would you market
Or
that?
was,
That
was
would've
it Quick? Or was it like another...
Nesquik.
No, yes. But
we were that time. We
was
grew up
it a
during
candy? They were like Hershey's something or other.
Hershey's Nesquik.
And it kind of looked like they were,
Like the cookie straws you got.
uh-huh.
I don't know if it came... I feel like that came out later down the line of the
Like
mid...
milk straws?
Yeah, well, they were, I feel like they
'Cause-
were straws you could eat.
Yeah, because I'm seeing some here online, and pretty much, yeah, it's like, because they're flavored. So I would imagine that obviously I think the whole point was you'd put it in the milk of your cereal, and as you drink it, it would change the
flavor.
flavor as you would drink it.
So it was like you're drinking strawberry milk or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. I want whatever the cereal was bringing
Or
to
it
my
could just be
palate.
like, instead of having to mix the milk from your glass, you put it into your milk, and then it, as you drink it, it changes it to like strawberry milk or chocolate milk.
No, I was like, no, I wouldn't.
No, mama.
Whatever was the aftermath of my cereal's demolish of the milk, I would drink that. That would be okay. I was a big fan of, and I don't know if they still make them. I know they make sippy cups that are like that and sippy straws or whatever. But me and my brother, growing up, we had bowls that had built-in straws.
Oh, I remember those.
I remember those two.
At the very bottom, and it would suck up the milk. So you didn't have to lift the bowl and tip it over and spill it all over your like face and just like make a big old mess. But
God, you're lazy.
hey, it was practicality in the bowl, so I thought it was,
Practicality in a bowl.
I like it.
That's funny.
But going back to drinks that you wish you had at least tried.
Well, I've never tried Crystal Pepsi, but I feel like I would have liked it. I don't know why.
A lot of people have really fond memories of Surge, but I never tried it.
I might have tried it once.
Yeah, it's like that type of thing where I'm like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. but I don't have any memory of it.
It's like that,
And I think someone found like a, maybe unearthed like this like pack of like,
I saw that.
and I feel like I'm like, I don't think I have memories of that.
It's just like it's like that episode of Gilmore Girls where Luke and Lorelai just got engaged and they go to Dosie's and they're trying to find something to drink to celebrate, and he goes, I have a case of Zima.
Oh yeah, anything alcoholic, it's a case of Zima. Jesus.
Zima, what the fuck was that? No, like I mean,
you want to know what it was?
Well, I feel like I can imagine that it was like a Bacardi or something like that.
No. It was a way, way earlier version of what the kids first Smirnoffs. I remember trying... No, but
that's what I mean. Like, it was a malt beverage.
It had no flavor.
Ew.
The first time I tried it... Ooh.
It didn't even taste like alcohol?
This is a bad story because...
How old were you?
Yes, sorry, Mom and Dad, but this is a story that I was in Alaska. I was probably about 9. 8 or 9,
and you tried Zima.
I tried Zima.
You were bad.
No, if I was bad, my dad would be an asshole for doing that too. He was the one who gave it to me.
Oh, nice.
Piecing it together, he was like, "Here, try it." I'm like, "I didn't know."
You had like a whole bottle?
No, I had. It's like the same thing for beer. When me and my brother were younger, we sipped it. We sipped it.
Zima.
Gross.
The name just doesn't sound appealing at all.
And I think were they in like blue
I remember
glasses?
them being clear.
Clear.
Okay, I'm thinking
the only thing
else.
that was blue on the bottle itself was the label.
Oh, then that's probably what I'm thinking of.
We were the generation, and I still remember this, and that surprised me about the hot cocoa tin. But we were the generation who had Nestle Quick. Not this Nesquik.
In the tin.
The metal tin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the top, I didn't know this until now, that was a measuring cup.
Really?
Yeah, that was a measuring cup to go ahead and see how much you put in your milk. I did not know this.
Now I just want chocolate milk.
I love chocolate milk.
Did they change the bunny too, by the way?
I don't think so. I think that it's still the bunny.
That was the other one I remember. Nesquik did cookies and cream.
Yeah, that cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream chocolate milk.
I never tried that, so maybe that'll go into one of mine.
That sounds delicious.
I never tried that one.
It was so good. That was like a thing that I just I needed to have. Fuck strawberry, fuck chocolate, fuck vanilla, cookies and cream, Nesquik mix. I ate the shit out of that.
Fucking Tang.
They still have it.
Well, yeah, they still have Tang, but okay, so that's like, what haven't you had since you were a kid? That they still make, but you kind of took for granted and was like, I really liked that as a kid. Why did I stop eating it?
Tang.
Or like, okay.
Well, yeah,
Gushers. I fucking loved Gushers when I was little.
Fruit by the foot.
Mm-hmm. Do they still make Fruit by the foot?
I'm pretty sure. Well, we were talking about it before, like for in high school when we go to breakfast, those Crustables.
Yeah.
Where it's like
we used to call them boobs.
Sandwich boobs.
Yeah, sandwich boobs. They looked like implants. They did what I imagine a silicone implant to like be. Yeah.
One time I bought some from Walmart and I put them in the freezer by accident.
Ooh.
And it was just like like no go when it comes to the peanut butter or the jelly.
But you have that idea as a little kid. It was like, because my mom always had the sandwiches the crust cut off. But I never had an idea for a sandwich that was like that. But everybody always had it for PB&J. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a fan of crust. So really, would they come up with something that was just like a thought?
I was never one of those kids who needed their crusts off of their sandwiches.
I did.
I didn't really care.
I
thought it was, it was nice when it was done for me.
Well, this is a luxurious thing.
Wow, Mom took 4 extra steps.
She cared.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking about it now. The Kraft macaroni and cheese that was of your favorite characters. The favorite cartoons, the favorite movies that came out that year.
See, I'm spoiled with macaroni and cheese. Any Kraft macaroni and cheese that was like the powdered cheese that you mixed in, that was crap. My mom wasn't a cooking mom, but when my mom cooked, it was amazing. Still now, when my mom cooks, it's awesome.
Throws down a whole Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's my mom's macaroni and cheese is just nothing is going to compare to that.
Mm.
So it was like, oh, macaroni and cheese from the blue box. Bull.
So you don't have fond memories of that?
No.
Wow.
I love
That's interesting.
Because we grew up with, when that came out, they have Ninja Turtles. Oh, they have this, they have that. That's the same thing for SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs had the same thing. They had, like, whatever.
Okay. So, what SpaghettiOs is to, I mean, just like everyone ate it too, also. But I never ate SpaghettiOs as a kid. I ate a lot of ravioli. Fucking love ravioli. I still do, and I actually haven't had ravioli in a long time.
I would never eat SpaghettiOs or ravioli.
Really?
Nope. Like when I think of that, I think of like when you go to like Target or something, and they have like you go through the pasta aisle, and it shows you like gnocchi that like is just on the shelf, and it says like, oh, no need for refrigeration. And you're just kind of like, why does this not need refrigerating? It's like, why is this Alfredo
what preservative did you put in there?
Wait, for gnocchis?
Mm-hmm.
It's potato.
Well, I know, but still, it's kind of like,
yeah.
it's like when you make something, it should...
immediately need a shelf life.
Yeah. It's like, how can this last in the cupboard for a year?
And they give you the sell-by dates. It's a little scary. I
Mm-hmm.
understand now.
So, ravioli and fucking Vienna sausages. Yeah.
Yeah, Vienna sausage.
hate, okay, and I don't know how this works out,
Oh, yeah.
but I hate potted meat, but I love Vienna sausages. I don't know why.
It's the same thing.
Exactly. I know it is. No. Yeah.
I like Spam. I grew up on Spam.
Grew up on treat, not Spam.
Okay.
I don't know if they're the same thing.
My mom and dad, they remember that. Well, I don't, obviously.
You don't remember?
But no. Do you?
I never had treat.
But
I don't know.
I've heard stories about them eating it and thinking it's fantastic. I mean, it's cheap, and I guess when
It's just a block of salt.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're looking at it now. I mean, they have it's the same thing as going for Vienna sausages. They have different flavors, but to me, it's not really it's weird that they have flavors because that kind of block of meat inside that tin can, the aluminum can that you can find, I don't think it'll absorb or marinate. It'll just taste like Spam with the sauce on the side. Oh, okay. Then that's a weird thing. Name like one weird thing you did eating something of your childhood.
Oh, I know.
What do you mean?
It's gonna gross Jenny out there.
Oh no.
Just one thing that you ate as a child that you know was just bad news.
What I used to do, and I thought it was like gourmet cooking.
Oh, I love this.
Is I would open up a can of chili.
Damn it.
And I'd put it
What
into
kind of chili?
Wolf Brand chili. It had to be Wolf Brand chili. It had to be Wolf Brand chili and just slightly heated. Not cold.
Slightly heated.
But not hot, because when you mix in what I mixed in, it'd be kind of recipe for disaster. So slightly heated, warm, not hot, and then you mix in corn, mix it up, and then you mix in tuna without mayo, or with mayo, depending on if
really
under your risk level. Yeah, mix in tuna, and then I'd eat it with like Fritos.
Whoa!
It was delicious. And probably to this day, I probably would have like heartburn if I.
I was like,
wow.
Have you tried making
I
that
haven't.
since?
You
should.
The last time I tried, I think I was probably in high school, and even then, it was like, oh no, this is gonna come out similarly to how it's going in.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because when you see it, it's because it's like you have it's the lightness of the tuna with like the chunks of the corn and like the darkness of the chili. It just looks like vomit in a bowl.
Thank you for the visual.
But it was so good. It was so good
delicious.
as a 10-year-old. It was so good.
Oh, nasty.
See, mine wasn't. Now thinking about it, saying that statement, I didn't really have anything that was that bad. The most I did, really, I mean, the only thing I had, and people, yeah, I had living with the roommates and previous roommates. The way they would say I make my ramen is if I had a prison spread. Because literally, I would throw random stuff inside my ramen. It came from like shredded cheese, bacon bits to hot dogs and stuff like that. But it was filler. To me, that was normal because that's what traditional ramen is.
That sounds like a good idea.
That sounds like an economical way of...
Yeah, and that's the way
a
traditional
good meal.
ramen comes. You put stuff in it. It just doesn't come plain, as people think. They want that stuff that's on the package. That was me. That was my whole idea when I was younger. Is I wish I had the scallions. I wish I had the little chunks of beef and stuff in my ramen, but I gotta settle for the packet with the MSG in it. It's fine. So I would put stuff like that in there. That does sound like a recipe for disaster. I might want to try it.
I maybe
Not in this house, you're not.
Well, no, yeah.
You can go to Oscar's and try it.
I'll make it. I'll make
have
it,
your-
and I'll call you over, and you'll be like, yeah, I'll take the risk.
Oh my god, gross.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I have anything like that, and I don't. I have weird ways of eating certain kinds of food. Nothing quite that disgusting. I'm sorry. So, one of my favorite things to eat are Oreos. And that's a question I want to ask you guys. How do you eat your Oreos?
There's a certain way to eat them?
Well,
Oh,
cause
it's like those quizzes where
there's
it's
like a personality. It's like a personality thing, I feel.
Okay.
How do you eat your Oreos?
I eat them without the filling.
Yeah, me too.
I like the cookie, but I don't like the filling because the filling, to me, kind of coats the roof of your mouth in like a very saturated fat, kind of like kind of gross.
Don't eat don't
the double stuffed.
Oh, well, no. I wouldn't eat those anyway. But I was gonna say, don't try the new mint shake.
Gross! Yeah.
From Burger King, because all it is the cream. I could taste chunks of cream. We had it today.
Oh, I thought
could
you were
taste
talking
chunks
about
of the
like the mint. Oreos.
Oh, the mint Oreos? Oh no.
I just found
There are no other. I will. Okay, I want you to read it. There will be. I will eat no other Oreos except for the original plain, like just regular. But I dunk mine, so I have to dunk mine. I
have to dunk?
I have to dunk, and I eat them whole. So I dunk. I wait till I get that perfect amount of sogginess.
Not to the one
whole.
that's gonna
you
break.
watch little bubbles come out.
Yes, that's how you know. That's how you know
You drown them and then you.
when the bubbles are gone. It's the perfect amount of sogginess.
You drowned
I
your
liked
Oreos.
I like it when it's still intact and whole, but completely soggy. So where you don't even hear a crunch. It's just, it's awesome. That's since I was little till now. That is my favorite way of eating Oreos. That's how I do it. I dunk them and I eat them whole. How do you eat them?
The same way as Oscar. I lick off the filling, but I'm not disgusted by it.
I am.
Growing up and watching the commercials, it always kind of freaked me out. Is it took multiple times for people to get the fucking filling out. But it's like you don't really struggle because it's just like you can use a butter knife and
Take it off. And there are times where I'll just eat the whole thing like that. I mean, it tastes good.
So then what do you do with the filling? Just throw it away?
Yeah.
Really?
Poor filling.
What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, I'm not going to fucking eat it.
So here are the options that the quiz gives you. 1, the whole thing all at once. 2, 1 bite at a time. 3, slow and methodical nibbles, examining the results of each bite afterwards. What the hell?
Just eat the cookie.
Yeah. 4, in little feverish nibbles. 5, dunked in some liquid, milk or coffee. 6, twisted apart the inside, then the cookie. 7, twisted apart the inside and tossed the cookie. 8, just the cookie, not the inside. 9, I just like to lick them, not eat them. Okay. 10, I don't have a favorite way because I don't like Oreos.
That's a person I don't want to know.
Do you want to read number 10's first?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 10 first.
I don't have a favorite way. I don't like Oreos. You probably come from a rich family and like to wear nice things. You go to upscale restaurants. You are particular and fussy about the things you buy, own, and wear. Things have to be just right. You like to be pampered. You are prim. No one likes you. Do you want to go with the one that we did the...
Yeah, the way you and Oscar eat them, go that way first.
How many questions?
It's just there's 10 ways that it gives you, and then you go to the way like how we like just the cookie, not the inside. That's number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to that and it just says just the cookie, not the inside. You enjoy pain.
Are you kidding?
That's all it says.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's bad.
And Jenny's, let's see. Dunked in some liquid?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone likes you because you're always upbeat. You like to sugarcoat unpleasant experiences and rationalize bad situations into good ones. You are in total denial about the shambles you call life. You have a propensity towards narcotic addiction.
That's definitely not true.
Interesting.
The narcotic addiction. Everything else probably.
Like, yeah.
That's funny. Wow. What about the eat it whole?
Eat it whole. This means you consume life with abandon. You are fun to be with, exciting, carefree, and some hint of recklessness. You're totally irresponsible. No one can trust you with children.
Well.
One bite at a time. You are lucky to be one of the 5.4 billion other people who eat their Oreos this very same way. Just like them, you lack imagination, but that's okay. Not to worry, you're normal.
Lack imagination. I think I like that sentence.
Yeah, one bite at a time is like, obviously. Slow and methodical nibbles, examining the results of each bite afterwards. You follow the rules. You are very tidy and orderly. You're very meticulous in every detail with everything you do, to the point of being anal retentive and irritating to others. Stay out of the fast lane if you're only going to go to the speed limit. Damn.
Jeez.
Alright.
Now I really want Oreos. So, getting back to what I was initially going to say about the way I weirdly eat certain things. What I started doing after a while was filling a bowl with Oreos. So, like, maybe about 8 Oreos in a bowl. And filling it with
Standard size
milk.
bowl?
Like, not
And
even...
eating it like cereal.
Would you break them up?
Nope. I told you I eat them whole.
It's like those shredded wheats, except
Ugh.
Oreos.
Oreos.
I was not a fan of that. That was lie. Those were lies to me. And then
Those are lies to you?
I like the frosted mini wheats.
Still, no.
Frosted ones I'm okay with.
Yeah.
And the little, obviously.
But then my whole idea, and then I feel like I should always write these down because, again, some of the stuff that was always coming up was, well, we'll frost both sides. I was like, what would be better is putting shit in the middle. Now we have jelly in the middle. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I remember that.
Like, they did a lot of stuff like that. They did Craze and Craze. It was another brand of cereal that did that before Craze. It was little chunks of sugary blocks that had filling of chocolate, vanilla, and whatever you could name.
That's how I eat I had started doing that, eating my Oreos that way. It just cut out the middleman and just ate.
You
I
say
would
with
just
a
eat it with a
spoon.
spoon. Yep. And then you were just like, well, you might as well. So then you really liked Oreo O's. And I'm like, actually never tried Oreo O's.
What are some places you guys remember going to eat as a kid and thinking
Jesus.
that it was amazing, and then going back and being like, meh?
We had a place here, and it was like, again, it's being here in Texas. I think it's only a southern thing. We had Shoney's, and they
I remember
Shoney's.
Shoney's.
to go ahead and show you.
We had one Shoney's. We still had that same Shoney's for a very long time, and I think it finally closed down.
Aw.
They bulldozed the building.
Yeah.
Oh, we had Shoney's. That's all. Again, when coming down here to Texas, that's all we pretty much had. But the other one, and it's kind of like it was there, and it was only there, and then they decided to go ahead and build other places that were like it. This is before Golden Corral, and if you go Golden Corral, Furs, and now that we have a new staple, it's kind of like Furs, but it was called Ryan's.
I remember Ryan's.
So it was kind of growing up around that time. It was kind of like the best of the best before Golden Corral, before all that.
Where did I used to eat at Ryan's?
But Ryan's was a good spot. It was like a buffet for like the home staple of what your parents would make and whatever you could eat.
Ryan's was a place that we would eat when we would go visit my aunt in Louisiana. That is where we would eat. I'm like, basically, it was like Furs, but Shoney's. Fuck. Yeah, I remember the bear, but I more specifically remember the clown, and that is why
There was a clown?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the clown.
No, well, not a Shoney's clown, but there was always a clown at Shoney's.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Probably not hired by them.
that is why we didn't go there as often, because I wouldn't go in if the clown was there. Mm-hmm.
And you would make those little the balloon animals and stuff. Yeah, I remember that now.
He was a full face painted hair wig floppy shoes, squeaky nose, clown. Yep.
I remember loving to go there for like the breakfast buffets because I could literally get a plate of bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that was the first thing I when I as an adult going to first. Fuck you.
Like
taking all the bacon. What happened to
bacon.
it? It's like taking all the bacon.
It's like a
that.
real Ron Swanson moment where you're like, I'll have all the bacon you have. Not a lot of bacon, all the bacon.
See, one place that I never went to, I've actually only been to once in my entire life, was Chuck E. Cheese. I only went once.
Chuck E. Cheese? I went was super young, but then I went back when, as an adult, it still still creepy.
Well, when I was little, and this is, and all of this flashed back to me when you showed me the, what's it called again?
The game or the
no
the guy who owns the animatronics?
Yes. What's the name of the animatronics?
The Rockafire
Explosion. When you showed me the Rockafire Explosion, this memory of Gorilla George's in back where we used to live, they had
that same.
I don't know if it was that, but they had something very similar to it. Yes, and you would go there, and it was a pizza place, and they would have that for show, and they had games like a Peter Piper Pizza or a Chuck E. Cheese, and I think that's part of the reason why I like Five Nights at Freddy's, because it's taking all of that stuff that I had always found creepy and legitimately making it creepy. So it's pretty fun.
Because I personally know somebody who did work. This is, again, that's probably Gorilla George's is possibly around the same time, where they had a franchise expansion. It was called Pistol Pete's. Rockafire Explosion also started there, too. She personally worked there, and she stayed there late at night, and this is where it kind of sets the scenario. It's kind of the same way as Five Nights at Freddy's, is that she would work there to the late nights and wipe tables, and if everything would shut down, they'd turn off all the arcades. You would still hear the hissing of the rocket, or the CO2s of the animatronics still going.
Oh God,
that's creepy.
That's creepy.
So you would and then you would see the curtain move here and there, and because it still had excess CO2.
That's crazy. But I think it was one of those places where I always begged my parents to take me. Probably only went once, and it's one of those things where brief memory of it, very brief, and then that was it. But yeah, I remembered Gorilla George's. It's the same time where I remember watching the commercials for Gorilla George's at the same time watching the commercials for Gus and Goldie.
Gus and Goldie?
It was a swimming, swimming lessons type of thing.
You need to hear the jingle because you'll love it.
Swim classes start next week, so register today.
Swimming like fish, like Goldie and Gus. No need to worry, no need to buzz. We're swimming like Goldie and Gus. Yeah!
And really scary looking, now looking back, really scary fish looking things.
They were these two fish, Gus and Goldie, and they...
One was blue, one was gold.
Mm-hmm. And they were the mascots. But they were these weird looking things. Swimming like Goldie and Gus. Yeah.
Alright. What about for you, Oscar?
I had many a birthday at Peter Piper Pizza.
Me too.
And I feel like still to this day, their pizza to me is like, I know it's not the best, but it's like...
Yeah, what the hell is it about it?
There's like
so
something
good.
like special about the crust. I don't know, maybe it's like they wipe it on the floor. And then it just comes out tasting like magic.
I don't know what it is either, but it's something about Peter Piper Pizza that... Yeah, it's definitely not the best pizza, but
it's your childhood.
It's delicious.
Oh, okay, since we're mentioning spots, how about a spot that nobody has ever heard of then? That you went to as a child, that you know for sure, for a fact, nobody remembers ever going to. I can name one, and it's so weird, and I remember this. They have whatever they have now for like going to do rock wall climbings, but there was this thing called in Georgia At Fort Benning's, where we used to go to, it was called Discovery Zone.
Oh, I remember hearing about Discovery Zone, but we come from a town where there's not a lot of big franchise, like huge franchises like that. Like
there was one burger place that started up in South Texas called Wallbangers.
Yeah.
It reminded me of
it's like a Fuddruckers.
Yeah, Fuddruckers, but it was a lot more like it was decorated kind of like 50s style. Like there was the reason it was called Wallbangers, I think, is because they had like a fake car that was like planted into the wall of the place, and it was like neon-y, and it was really cool. But unfortunately, where we're from, it's kind of like, well, I can get a $5 burger from Whataburger or McDonald's.
Much better, yeah.
And not a $10 burger from.
Jeez, a $10 burger?
Yeah, they were expensive. But the thing is about them, I think, it was more a novelty thing because they had burgers that were like cakes, and if you had a large party,
was like where we had Little Hips.
You could, if you had a large party, you could order that, and they would give you a slice of a burger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah, we had that one here too. So.
But I only ever went there once.
I went there maybe twice because it wasn't open that long. It was probably open less than a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like Gorilla George's is probably, I don't think anybody remembered from the Valley. It was probably one of those things. If mentioning it now, everyone's like, "Oh my god, yeah, that was a thing." But let me think about that for fucking Rallies and
Rallies
fries.
Rallies fries.
Rallies and Checkers.
Fuck yes.
I remember us having one here in Texas, and it ended up closing down. I don't remember. I think it was off Nacogdoches. We had one, but growing up, Rallies. Okay, for the staple of my childhood, it was Rallies, Checkers, and Crystals, because we didn't have a White Castle. But it was the closest thing you could get to a White Castle. Crystals was
apparently
the
we do
shit.
have a White Castle. Did you know that?
And I know where it's at.
In San Antonio?
In San Antonio.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
I'm not gonna say.
You'll never know.
We do have a Crystals in San Antonio, but it's far out of reach for people. Some people that don't want to go there.
Are Crystals?
No, the White Castle.
Oh, okay.
The Crystals you can go. No, I'm sorry. I meant to say White Castles. For the White Castle, it's in a strange spot, but for just where it's at, I might go there. So, not gonna say. I'll tell you guys after.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna be like, where is it?
I don't care. I'll take it to my grave.
The only time Oscar and I ever had the White Castle was when we lived in New York for a month, and we were in the city, and we were with Z, and she was like, "What do you guys want to eat?" And I don't know how, we just decided, fucking White Castle, yeah. So
here,
she got us a case of White Castle. Lasted us like 3 days.
Yeah.
How much is a case?
Fucking $40, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
It lasted us again.
It was awesome.
We have like 6 little burgers, like.
No, we had like 10 burgers each, maybe more.
No more. Yeah, it'd be like we probably even have like again 3 burgers per meal, like 3 little burgers.
And it comes in a fucking case. It's like a box. The cardboard was probably as thick as a comic book storage box.
Nice.
And,
well, it does provide a lot of protection. It does.
But yeah, and everything, I liked it because it was so neat. Everything was so neat inside there. All of the burgers, just in their own little boxes, and it was interesting. But Rally's fries.
Oh my god.
Those.
And the thing is, they have stuff like this at like grocery stores. But going back to that element, it'll never be the same.
Well, I've never ever had anywhere fries like that anywhere else.
No.
See, and the thing is, I also kind of wonder, like, again, you'll see like Checkers or Rally's fries like in the frozen section of like maybe Target or something. I wonder if you take it back with you and you make it, one, if it'll taste the same, probably won't.
not.
No.
But have you already created this idea in your mind that the fries taste this way, they need to taste this way for me to feel satisfied with this, and maybe even that kind of idea is unattainable.
Exactly. It's just like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where
Where
he's trying to find the perfect burger.
The perfect.
Yeah, and he goes, "This is not the place. You know, it's not."
And
the
Robin's
place."
just completely hungry.
You know, it's sad because you've built this up but I can't remember specifically what it is about those fries. Obviously, the seasoning, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's weird. I can't describe it, but I know if I were to eat them again,
You'd know.
I'd know. Yeah, you'd know. It's like this mecca of fries.
It's like
Anyway.
some people can just go and eat Arby's fries too.
Aren't Arby's fries curly fries? Yeah. I've never had. I have, but
No, You're shaking
Arby's
your
has
head like
never
crazy.
been like a memorable thing for me.
I had Arby's when I was really little, and I don't think it was the Arby's, but I think it was probably like the combination of things I ate, and I vomited, and ever since then I've never wanted to eat Arby's again.
Oh, just like that's how I feel about Applebee's.
Oh,
Ugh.
really?
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, so like, what were restaurants that were really good at one point, then went downhill? That's definitely one of for me. Applebee's sucks. Sorry, but no, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I was all about Burger King when I was. It was all about Burger King and all about McDonald's when I was younger, but Burger King just fell flat.
See, McDonald's was more. It was really all about the proximity to our house. We had a McDonald's really close to our house, so it was more. We were more a McDonald's family than we were Burger King.
For me, it was every time we visited here in San Antonio. I kid you not. You can ask my brother about the stories. When we went to my grandma's house, who wants to go to McDonald's? Woo! And we would go, and fucking my grandpa would grab us a Happy Meal, and we'd be happy as shit.
So McDonald's was the thing that it was. We would go, especially after church. It was me and my little cousin would go. Not my little cousin. She's actually older than me. I would tell her, let's, come with me. Let's go to church with my grandparents, and then afterwards we'll go to McDonald's. Like Saturday evening church, and then McDonald's after. That was something I can't.
There's one restaurant that I know it doesn't exist anymore. Bennigan's.
Oh yeah.
Geez.
I remember when it first started. It was like.
It was a huge thing when it.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be like Irish food, like not.
Is that what the game was?
Yeah,
Bennigan's was Irish.
Not just
themed.
pub food, but Irish food. So I remember there was this when it opened up that they had this whiskey steak that was so good, and
Never had it.
it was amazing. And then eventually it slowly deteriorated into like pub food, and then it deteriorated into just burgers and wings. Into bar food. There's a difference between pub food and bar food.
Well, because after a while, that was the only thing that was bringing in the money was the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, when we went through that era of these chains, all these chains closing down,
The franchises closing.
Yeah.
But they're not closing in. Yeah.
so that franchise
They were really stubborn
that
and going away.
franchise got privately bought out, and nobody gave two shits anymore.
Yeah, you can tell.
Sad.
So.
The only thing I remember walking away from that, and it's still awesome, and I'll probably do something with it, is like Monte Cristo.
They had really good French onion soup.
That's
So does Tony Roma's.
one place I haven't been to in a long time too.
Tony Roma's?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I forget that they have one in the River Center, and every time we walk by there, I'm like, oh, fucking Tony Roma's. Let's go. I'm like, we just ate.
We're coming up on an hour, so I guess we'll mention everybody that threw all their favorite foods, since we'll call this one the one where we made everybody hungry.
The one where we made it.
But they threw some really good stuff out there. I mean, besides the stuff that we started off with all our favorite foods, we didn't mention our Sprite remix. We didn't.
I did. I mentioned Sprite remix.
Okay, we did.
It tasted like Skittles. It was the best thing ever. I fucking love it.
I remember Butterfinger BBs. Nobody we talked to or that I personally messaged had ever mentioned Butterfinger BBs. And I'm glad, so I can take this away from them. Haha.
I miss the Butterfinger commercials in general because they were Simpsons commercials.
True. And I don't think they ever straight up, well, they kind of did in the mid-90s, but that wasn't my go-to. I was like, oh, no, stay away. That was like, my brother to this day can quote Shaq doing Nestle Crunch. That was another thing that they kind of... Nestle Crunch. They took them, they did the same thing like Butterfinger BBs. Bam. They just threw them aside.
Yeah, I remember those. Yep.
Still like Raisinets and cookie, like chocolate chip cookie dough and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I remember the Nestle Crunch pieces being. Something that you buy at an all-hit video or at a Blockbuster because you just bought a whole bunch of movies and junk food.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to go off on that next time on going, like, the fun, I don't know, just the enjoyment of going to, like, a Blockbuster and All-Star Video and just renting movies. It's
They still have mom and pop shops. I miss those. That would be awesome to go back to and pick up something. They need to have those, and they need to bring it all back. They bring back all our 90s foods. That would be my gimmick if they ever did like a pop and go. Jeez, we had Pop and Go, a mom and pop shop. That was my first introduction to Evil Dead and stuff like that. We'll save this again for something else. I'm just gonna dwindle off and spin off and go somewhere else. But I'll just read what everybody else was sending in. I'm only gonna mention the first names of everybody, so I'm not gonna say your full name. Sorry. But we had Fonz mention what did I say earlier? A Hostess Ninja Turtle pie filled with vanilla pudding power. I've never seen these things. I'll post up the pictures along with what they sent me.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
I remember eating moon pies and banana cream pies when I was little. I don't know why, because I don't like them now. But yeah, I remember that.
For Erica Nicole, she had Crystal Pepsi and Orbits. That was the two.
Orbits. Okay. So whenever I think of Orbits, I don't think I ever drank it. But what I do remember.
Are those the ones that had like the little like
plastic
balls?
Yeah, the little
gum in it.
They're
Okay, I had that.
But what I remember are the what's it called? The Clearly Canadian.
Same company.
Those were so good. I loved those. And then what I didn't realize is that they for a long time we just stopped drinking it. We used to drink a lot of Fresca when I was little.
Oh, Fresca.
Fucking love Fresca.
Fucking Fresca's awesome. That's a drink that's still around. That's from my childhood, but change the label, it still tastes awesome.
Yeah, see? That still tastes great. Fresca is still awesome.
It's awesome. John mentions Pizza Pockets when he was in pre-K. Best Pizza Pockets ever, he says. We had the French bread pizzas at our school, so that was pretty awesome as well.
We still had the stupid square pizzas.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Frank says, and I think I mentioned this before we started recording, but he mentioned 3D Doritos. And I asked him for a quote on it, and this is what he tells me. I asked him if there was a little bit more information he could give back to me, but he says, I'm high at the moment. Maybe come back to me for a better answer. And I think he really probably wants those right now. I'm sorry.
What I remember, do you remember the Cheetos in the different shapes? Mm-hmm. They were like Cheetos, but like square.
Yeah, it was almost like a checkerboard.
Oh yeah, that was the whole 90s group.
It was still puffed. It was still puffed.
They were puffed.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had
X's and O's.
Yes! And then they had a more condensed cheese flavor, which was a little obnoxious. But, yeah.
It's like cheese with a Z.
Yeah, cheese. See, that was one thing that I've never really had, like Cheese Whiz.
No?
Yeah.
And that's still around. Condensed whatever pasteurized cheese in the can.
Well, yeah, I know that's still around, but that's definitely one thing I never...
All right. Monique mentions Trix cereal. And I've got I got this from my friend Robin. I got this from quite a bit of people. But Trix, when they had the shapes, not these new fruit orbs or whatever, it's just plain Kix, like Kix. Mm-hmm. They went to that. But Trix had like actual shapes of what the fruit was supposed to be. Like bananas and all that.
That's what I remember Trix being. I didn't know that they had turned into orbs.
So Robin, I mentioned to quite a bit of people. My friend Ryan misses Chicken Nugget Mondays on school with bomb-ass mashed potatoes and bread. Well, it was, actually. I remember going to that school. It was fucking awesome.
Chicken nuggets shaped as dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Dinosaur nuggets.
Dinosaur nuggets. Johnny, he hasn't got back to me on the food, but he mentions Hanson's energy drink. Don't remember those
I don't
too
remember
much.
those either.
Mark mentions a really good one here. Squeeze It juices. With the ones with the weird shaped faces, it was just awesome.
I remember those. Do you remember the ones that came with like these little weird capsule things that you would put in and it changed the color?
Oh my god, yes.
I don't know what the
I
purpose
don't
of
remember
is.
them.
What I guess we need.
No, they had
entertainment
fizzles.
along
It
with
would change.
Okay.
Squeeze It had the second generation where you would break the top, you break the cap, and it would change its color.
Yeah.
It'd be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember those. Now I need to look that up, and I'll
Think
post
of all those
it up.
chemicals that you
I
put in.
know.
I don't care, man. It was
Well,
awesome.
just like fucking. Okay, what? Another thing that's still great is fucking Capri Sun.
Yes, Capri Sun. Well,
Well,
no.
Sunny D. Do you remember? like,
Sunny D.
like, okay, that's one thing that I haven't drank since I was little. Is Sunny D.
But Capri Suns, they changed. They now have sport packs because kids will fuck up the pack and stab the straw all the way through. I don't care. I've never done that. I've never fucked up a Capri Sun, ever.
It's like,
Impatient people.
why are you so aggressive?
Exactly. Like, this needs to be in my life. Not I stab it all the way through. No, I never had that. You know what? I'm pretty sure we could also still find... Sorry. You make a pretty good point. It's I'm aggressive.
Why are you so
I want it
aggressive?
now.
Just impatient people.
Steven, a pretty actual famous artist that I know personally. He's pretty cool. Got to hang out with a couple of times. But he mentions Twinkies. But what he says about them is he makes a pretty good statement. He says, but they never really went away. Technically they did. But who they were brought back by makes me laugh. Twinkies went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Sold.
Yeah.
PBR,
That was not
Pabst
that long
Blue
ago.
Ribbon, not too long ago, bought Twinkies to bring them back. So a beer company. What do you go figure? But he says when people see me eating them, they look at me like I'm a freaking loser. So I wish everybody would eat them so that stigma would be there.
You know what?
Wouldn't be there.
Those people are losers.
Those
'cause
people are
Twinkies
true losers.
Great. But that's that was one thing I took for granted. It's like,
Twinkies would always be there.
fuck, Twinkies are going away. What? And have I bought Twinkies since? No. But it's one of the they'll be around. They can survive a nuclear holocaust.
Like roaches.
Yeah.
My friend Abasai brings up Pepsi Blue, favorite drink right there. Jones sodas, they technically haven't gone away. I'm going to mention that. They've only gone out with a low-calorie version. Orbit's the drink again. There it is. And he brought up Dr. Pepper Red Fusion. To me, and you showed me this before we started recording, and I'd never seen it. But I'll throw it up on the website, and I haven't seen this. I wonder what it tastes like.
I think I remember it, but I don't know if I'm just creating the memory in my mind.
If you have, it's still pretty cool, though.
I guess
It looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a regular red soda, like Mountain Dew did their Red Alert. Eric...
Oh, geez.
Eric mentions meal on a stick. I had to ask him about it a dozen times. If this was real, I'd probably have to research it. But he said fried chicken on a stick. It has fried onions, potato, pickle, and chicken on a stick. Simple as that, apparently. Rebecca was working with tons of people, so they came with plenty of things. They came up with Schwann's Orange Push Pops, again, 3D Doritos, and I believe the other one was Ecto Coolers, Surge, again.
High C.
Ecto Coolers, High C,
I
and
see.
they should bring that back for the fucking new Ghostbusters movies. It would blow kids' minds now. She also mentioned Keebler's Fudge Cookies. I don't know if they went away, but I wouldn't say they did.
Me neither. But, again, something I haven't had since I was little.
Let's see. Another person Joe mentioned 3D Doritos. See, that's a pretty good staple. Everybody remembers those.
Well, they also came in that weird package. That the packaging was like a can, not a can, but
A really hollow tin.
Well, it wasn't
It was
even
a
a tin.
tin,
It was
but-
Kind of like-
plastic.
Yeah. And the way that he served it was, of course, he could pour it over and
Like a cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
like Pringles does now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Helen made me feel really nostalgic in this one. I will mention this. She remembers, and again, going back to our cereals, she remembers Pokemon, a limited edition cereal. To throw you back in that whole genre of where we grew up. She remembers eating this for a week straight. playing Pokemon Stadium on N64.
Oh.
So I was like, damn, that set me in a scene. I was like, I really want to go back and do that again. We can't. Let me see. My friend Amelia, she mentions, and Brian was the one who brought this up the other day, was the PB Crisps. They were fake peanuts, but they were filled with peanut butter, chocolate, hazelnut. They were filled with random things. Again, I'll post it on the Facebook, but that was one thing we ate as a kid, and it was awesome.
In high school, they used to have, and I don't know if it was just because, I don't know if it was a Mexican brand or something like that. I can't remember. These amazing popsicles that were different flavors. And the one that I would always get was a cucumber flavor popsicle. And it was cucumber and salt. They had pickle ones too.
Oh, like the paleta man.
Kind of, but these were, it was like a weird hexagon shaped popsicle. Like they were long, but when you look at it like that, it was like it was cut like a hexagon.
That's weird.
And they were delicious. It was like the most refreshing, perfect thing. And then in the middle, it had like salt and lemon-ish juice.
Oh, you're making my mouth
It
water.
was so good. And I've never been able to find those.
Bringing back the chemicals you guys were talking about, as much as we shoved it in our faces as kids, nobody will ever remember the Lucas we ever had.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Okay,
will
so
ever.
that's like what it was like in the middle of that popsicle. Mm-hmm. So good, but yeah, Lucas.
The Lucas without the lead in it.
Hey, I don't care. I had lead. It was so good.
That lead added that extra kick.
It was so good.
All right. Well, I think that does it for today. After making our mouths water with Oreos, 3D pretzels. No,
Now I want to make a
Doritos.
shopping list purely on the things that.
I just want to go buy cereal right now. Cereal Oreos. Well, with that one, another New Nostalgia Podcast.